All right, Snapchat stock, we've got to talk about it. What is going on with Snapchat? Boom, Snap plunges 30% after CEO warns the company will miss revenue and earnings estimate, slowing their hiring. So why is this happening at the end of the day? What is going on with Snapchat? First, let's look at what happened, and then I'll give my analysis. Today, we filed an 8-K sharing that the macro environment has deteriorated further and further than we anticipated when we issued our quarterly guidance last month. They didn't have earnings yesterday. They had Q1 earnings last month, and they issued Q2 guidance last month. Spiegel wrote in the note, as a result, while our revenue continues to grow year over year, it's growing more slowly than we expected at this time, meaning they're not like not gaining money. They're not necessarily losing revenue. They're losing the speed at which they're growing revenue, which is what happened from Q4 2021 to Q1 2022, which is why their stock price dropped back when they released their earnings. In April, Snap reported first quarter earnings that missed Wall Street expectations for sales and profit. At the time, the company said it expected between 20 to 25% year-over-year growth in revenue. It forecasted adjusted earnings before interest, tax, so EBITDA, of between 0 and 50 million. They said yesterday, we believe it is now likely that we will report revenue and adjusted EBITDA below the low end of the guidance range that we provided for this quarter. The news hit the online advertising market hard. Snapchat's peers, Meta, Twitter, Pinterest, Google, all of them down after hours, 4%, 12%, 7%, 3%. Trade Desk, which is an digital advertising technology company for targeting, fell more than 8%. Now, why is this happening? So, a couple points of analysis. Number one, Snapchat is one of those companies that is incredibly interesting to analyze because most people that are watching this, and please leave it in the comments, probably don't use Snapchat. The reason you don't use Snapchat is for a couple of reasons. Either A, you're a little bit too old for Snapchat, which I am as well. I'm 24 and I don't really use Snapchat that much. It's not that interesting to me. And that's primarily because of this one reason. It's not a discovery platform. When people go to Snapchat, let me take this glass in the background. It's just chilling in the background. When people go to Snapchat, people are looking to connect with their friends. There's a social graph in terms of how they connect with individuals they know. And the way to connect with your friends is through stories. Stories is, and if you've used Instagram, you've seen it. You click on someone's little circle and it shows you what they've done throughout the day. And then you can message people with different photos. Now, unless you're Gen Z 13 to like 21 or whatever, like you don't really care about messaging other people with your photos. You would just text them, right? You don't have to be like, I'm at the mall. It's like, that's like a little kid thing to do, right? So it's built for a platform. The platform is built for a demographic that is using it in a way that's not really monetizable. Like, you're not going to be sending ads in between pictures. There's no algorithmic feed that Snapchat has in order for you to see advertisements. So at the point where the use cases are just showing your day through a story or showing messages that disappear after 24 hours, where do you put the ads? And if you've ever been on Snapchat, basically the ads are in between the stories or they're below the stories. They have these like sponsored kind of posts that kids might consume their content, like TMZ is there, all these gossip websites, all this stuff. The quality is not that high of the content. Compared to something like TikTok or YouTube, it's not just that TikTok and YouTube have videos, and videos in general is more like television, right? So you can play ads in between the videos. It's the method of discovery that people have access to on Twitter and YouTube. On YouTube, I'm putting out this video. I'm going to put Snapchat in the title, and maybe YouTube will show this video to more people that are searching or care about Snapchat. The only reason that's possible is because YouTube has an algorithmic mechanism to actually get this content in front of people that care. In order for this whole thing to work in terms of me becoming a content creator and for me to get discovered, YouTube has to do that. TikTok has to recommend those videos. YouTube has to recommend those videos. If that doesn't happen, there's no discovery. And if there's no discovery, I'm not going to come back to the platform because I'm not going to discover meaningful content, which is the whole point of Snapchat, which is the whole point of TikTok and YouTube and social media in general. And if I don't get a following, if I don't get people to interact with my content, I'm not going to post content, which will overall drive the engagement lower. Well, Snapchat, for some reason, has been able to maintain 310 million daily active users in the Gen Z demographic that don't post content for discovery. And that's kind of in the DNA of the company. The philosophy that Evan Spiegel, the CEO, kind of touts around Snapchat is that it's this way to be more authentic. It's not a way to get followers, not a way to get likes. In fact, they have Spotlight, which is their version of copying TikTok. You can't even like stuff. Or like if you like it, it doesn't show you the number of likes. Like it's this weird esoteric, we're holier than thou. We don't care about likes and followers. We're just a place for you to interact with your friends, which is great, cool. But I care about followers. I care about subscribers. I care about influence. And if I don't have any influence on your platform, what value does your platform add to me? At that point, you're just extracting my attention and my time. And the only way you get that is if you pay for it or if I get attention from it as the exchange. And if you're not paying for it, because Snapchat can't pay creators, then and I'm not getting a following, what's the value to Snapchat? So there is no algorithmic feed. There's no method of discovery. There's no ability to actually find new and interesting content, which means if you don't have friends and you're not in that demographic that's like going to the clubs and in college where you're Snapchatting constantly back and forth, meaning you're like an adult that has a real life, then there's zero value in the platform. And that's okay. The platform can be suited to a different demographic. That's totally fine. But how do you expect revenue to scale? How do you expect growth to scale? How do you expect user growth to be monetized in a more efficient way if you're not actually creating that method of discovery? So I mean, it's interesting to see this happen, but it's not surprising to see this happen. It's not a question of digital ad spend going down. It's a question of digital ad spend not accelerating at the levels that we think it should be accelerating for something like a Snapchat. Now, digital ad spend is not going away. I mean, it's projected to be a $480 billion industry in the next couple of years. Like, digital ad spending is here to stay, especially because it is democratized. Anyone can make a digital ad, and the targeting features on Facebook and Google are just phenomenal. So I think what this means for the industry in general, we know we saw some of the big tech stocks fall based on Snapchat's lack of being able to meet guidance. I think that money is just going to go into Facebook and Google, so the stock price is down more. But if advertisers aren't spending as much on Snap, then they're just going to plummet it into Facebook and Google, which is going to prop them up a little bit more. Number two, I think it's going to also go into TikTok. TikTok did $11 billion in ad revenue, which is triple the amount of what Twitter and Snapchat made combined. So I think TikTok, Facebook, and Google are going to be the beneficiaries of this ad spend. And I ultimately think that if you have a platform that does not create algorithmic discovery, it is going to be very difficult for you to grow from an advertising perspective, because the only way ads work is if they're in the middle of videos or they're in the middle of like content where you're scrolling, but you have to scroll. You have to want to consume. You know, on TV, like, you have to watch to see the ad. That's why advertisers care about you being and watching. If you're not scrolling, which means you're not giving the chance for the platform to even show you an impression of the ad, an impression is how many times it shows up in your face even if you don't click on it, then you're not going to be able to actually get any discovery, and Snapchat doesn't have that type of scrolling methodology. Now, last thing I want to talk about is why is Snapchat so why does Snapchat even have an advertising business? Because if you would think about everything I said, you're like, well, ads just don't even make sense on the platform. They're like in between stories. It's kind of weird. How do they monetize? Snapchat touts itself, and I've seen in their earnings presentations, the earliest time for brand affinity to start with an individual. So if their demographic is 13 to like 25 or 35, then that's when people, especially from 13 to 20, are developing their brand affinities. So if they see Coke versus Pepsi, they're going to feel more inclined for Coke. If they see Allstate versus State Farm in terms of their insurance companies in America, they will feel more inclined to buy Allstate insurance because they just have that brand affinity. So they don't make conversion-based ads where you click on something and you buy something. That's what Instagram does really well. That's what Google does really well with search-based advertising. They do impression-based advertising where the brand is giving you some awareness. The brand's getting some awareness from showing up in your feed, which is like the extra dollars the brand like Mountain Dew can afford to spend, or Pepsi can afford to spend, or even Facebook can afford to spend when they're advertising their Oculus and stuff. But it's not stuff that immediately converts into sales. And that type of advertising is the least necessary during a recession, because you need stuff that drives conversions, not stuff that just gives you more brand awareness, because like brand awareness doesn't matter when a recession is happening. So in that context, I think Snapchat's business model around advertising and their pitch to have an affinity for people at their earliest age makes sense. But in a recession, and when users not engaging with the ads as much as you would think they are, it's not going to accelerate growth. And that's why we saw Snapchat decline more than 30%. It's back to lower than its own IPO price. They IPO'd at $20-something in 2017. Now they're at $15. So those are my thoughts on Snapchat. I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, Snapchat was at $70 in 2021, and now it's gone down. Obviously, it was probably overvalued and inflated if growth is slowing down and advertisers aren't really getting the value out of the platform that they used to get. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Snapchat. Let me know your thoughts on the digital advertising industry. Looking forward to reading them and looking forward to seeing what ultimately happens with these stocks and with Snapchat in general as it grows over time. Thank you guys for watching so much. I will see you in the next one.